So see, from this week onwards, every week I will be taking the current affairs classes. The most important 15 to 20 topics I will be discussing. So first coming to the newspaper item. So when the first opening itself, Kalyanamastu, YSR Kalyanamastu, Jagananna government is there. Second page also. First, we have to skim through the newspaper. First reading takes only 5 minutes. Why? Because practically what happens is when we read newspaper more than 1.5 hours, we get tired. It's not about time. It's about conserving the energy also. So within 5 minutes, city traffic police, Hyderabad not required, Telangana state issues or Andhra Pradesh state issues or Maharashtra state issues is not required. All articles are not required. All articles are never required. No discrimination, Supreme Court ruling makes it easier for more women to get safe abortions. See, once you read or you watched some video or you have knowledge on abortions on one time, enough. Don't read again. Don't read again. Yesterday's news item you covered about the abortions and today you read abortions. Another 5 days the same abortions will come. Another 5 days the same abortions will come. Why? Because the people who are writing articles, they want to publish, they want to get popularity. So they will be sending their articles. So obviously the Hindu paper also or the Indian Express also they will publish. Only one time when we get the information, when we get the knowledge on such issues, we have to stop reading that issue. So one day investment on one issue. One day investment on one issue. Finished. Popular Front of India also, PFI. Popular Front of India, 2 days it's very much in news. In Kerala it is very huge news. Popular Front of India. Why? Because it's very, very popular. It's very popular, huge recruitment happens. They conduct meetings on the road. They are very, every street there is one member into the Popular Front of India. Now the central government has banned it. The central government called it as, it not only banned it, they also called it as an terrorist organization. So you read it. Once you read it, you have to you have to leave it. Again, you should not read again. Compulsory another 5 to 6 days, there will be news on Popular Front of India. Compulsory it will be news. Only one time we have to read, we have to understand, we have to leave it. We have to get the knowledge. Then today's news is, as India ages, keeping an eye on the elderly. Most of them will not read this. As India ages, keeping an eye on the elderly. Up to now, there is a worry about demographic dividend in India. Not worry, it's a good thing. But why worry? Because no proper education, no proper health, because of improper social capital, improper human capital. We are worrying that we might not give proper recruitment, we might not give proper employment to our human resource. So when we don't give a proper employment to our human resource, compulsory they will jump into some social evils. They will jump into terrorist organizations or Maoist organizations or terrorist organizations. It's a common thing. So demographic dividend is important. That was the news. But today's news is something different. As India ages, keeping an eye on the elderly people. Cynicism, aging, elderly people protection. What are the safeguards for the protection of the old people, age-old people, elderly people? It's a social issue. Social issue means not only SC, ST, women, OBC, disabled or LGBTs. These are also, elderly people are also social issue. Why? Because they also need care. So there is an article which is mainly talking about as India ages, keeping an eye on the elderly people. If your optional is any anthropology or if your optional is sociology, if your optional is philosophy also, there is a topic called as elderly topic. The same topic you can link there. In anthropology paper 1, unit number 10, there is something called as aging and cynicism. There you can add it. So this news is going to be a current affair for your optional paper also. Similarly, only one article I got up to now. Then next, Kharge represents Mallikarjun Kharge, Congress. G23 not required. US sanctions Indian petrochemical companies for Iran oil purchases, not required. AFSPA, very important news. Very important news. AFSPA, Armed Forces Special Powers Act, extended in Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. Second article. I ticked it. That one, aging, I ticked it. This one, I ticked it. Second. Then third, mortality higher among COVID-19 patients with chronic diseases report. Diseases. Again, if your optional is anthropology or if any medical science is your optional, then this is a news. Mortality higher among COVID-19 patients with chronic diseases. So COVID impact because of COVID. Epidemiology, diseases, there we can add this. Third article. Supreme Court Collegium recommends transfer of 2 judges. Its official enforcement directorate issued 5,000 seizure. Government proposes to revamp National Informatics Centers. Vande Bharat Express 2 from Gandhinagar. Here it is mentioned as Vande Bharat Express 2. Then what is Vande Bharat Express 1? If it is there 2 means there would be 1 also. Then what is 1? What is Vande Bharat Express 2 means we should also search what is Vande Bharat Express 1. Then sports. We are not into sports, finish. How many articles? 4 articles. So finish newspaper. In this way we have to categorize the newspaper only by 4 articles. 4 articles, 10 minutes is the investment for every article. Time is money, 40 minutes. So today's newspaper is 40 minutes. Only 4 articles we have to read. In that 4 articles, 40 minutes you have to read, 20 minutes you have to make the newspaper reading is important, but which articles you are reading is important. What you are reading is important. So in this way, daily which article you need to read, you have to give a tick mark. Next, you need to give a tick mark. Next, you have to give a tick mark. Second reading, you have to open only those 4 articles. Go for hard copy reading of newspaper, not with soft copy reading newspaper. Hard copy reading, what will happen? It will give a feel as if we are reading something. And newspaper is also, it's not so much costly, so we can buy a newspaper. Newspaper, compulsory hard copy, we can mark it, we can write it. In this way you have to read your newspaper. So today's topics, for example, in this week, why I choose these topics? Why? Because I want to give skill, what I have. How we have to identify the topics. In weekly current affairs or monthly current affairs, why? Because when you go into the society, when you go into the market, huge academies, current affairs magazines are available. So some academies, they dump the information, some academies, they give to the point. So which I have to identify. So I took some articles, I took some news items from last 1 week, from 25th September to today, 30th September. Till 30th September, I took some articles. So why I choose that articles also, I will give you information. Number 1, Taj Trapezium Zone, TTZ. Taj Trapezium Zone. You know the map of trapezium. This is the map of trapezium. So it's not only concentrating on protection of UNESCO's World Heritage Site, it is also targeting on some other sites. It might be a world, without reading news items I am telling you. By seeing the heading, Taj Trapezium Zone, it's a zone. So 2 things I can understand. Zone, it might be the Taj Mahal zone, only Taj Mahal zone, or it can be like a Buddhist circuit, it can be like a tribal circuit, it can be a circuit, a connectivity, it can be like a zone. So zone basis. So in that zone, which might be there? This is an archaeological site. This is a historical monument. So when we are adding to it, compulsory other also will be a historical monument. So Taj Trapezium Zone, I understood that there might be 2 zones. One zone is Taj Mahal, another zone might be with Taj Mahal other archaeological sites. So I will connect it. So in this I understood that Taj Trapezium Zone. One thing I have to understand here. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, but only 3 are protected under this. Only 3 are protected under this, mainly to protect Taj Mahal. So in the process of protecting the Taj Mahal, the government of India also understood that why we should leave another archaeological sites. They took into account Agra Fort, they took into account Fatehpur Sikri, mainly with Taj Mahal. So Taj Mahal, Agra Fort, Fatehpur Sikri, in this way, in this direction. So trapezium. Why? The color of the white marble of Taj Mahal is getting deteriorated because of the pollution, because of the industries which are located within the vicinity of Agra. So these pollutants are degrading the white marble on the Taj Mahal. Who told this? Again, someone should tell, then only it will become a news. Supreme Court of India told this. When they told? There is one popular environmentalist lawyer. Any question on environmentalist lawyer, you have to remember one name, MC Mehta. MC Mehta is an environmentalist lawyer. He is responsible for a lot of public interest litigations. He is responsible for a lot of public interest litigation. Environmentalist jurisprudence. Environmentalist or environmental jurisprudence will not be there without the name called as MC Mehta. He is an advocate as well as a person. He is a petitioner for a lot of environmental issues. Emissions from industries near the Taj Mahal are causing the white marble surface of Taj Mahal to discolor. That is the issue. So I want to focus on this. When I want to focus on Taj Mahal, whether I should focus only on Taj Mahal, there might be other areas also which are very near to Taj Mahal. What are those? Fatehpur Sikri, Agra Fort. In order to protect the monument from pollution, the central government has demarcated an area of 10,400 square kilometer. Around that area or zone called as Taj Trapezium Zone is spread across Agra, Firozabad, Mathura, Hathras and Rajasthan. It comprises monuments including World Heritage Sites, mainly Taj Mahal, Agra Fort and Fatehpur Sikri. So this background is MC Mehta case in 1995. MC Mehta case in 1995 itself, he had filed a public interest litigation in Supreme Court, and Supreme Court ordered that compulsory Taj Mahal need to be protected. There are several stages, several steps, and this is a recent step 4 days back. This is a recent step which is Taj Trapezium Zone. Second, why I choose this? Every exam or for information or for knowledge purpose, we need to know about death penalty. Why? Because death penalty is a capital punishment. Death penalty is inhuman. He did a mistake. Then you will kill him. He did a mistake. He did a murder. So you will also murder. So it's nothing but eye for eye makes a world blind. So you are going against the Gandhian principle, and your country is made for Gandhian principle. The country is made on Gandhian principle, but death penalty is against the Gandhian principle. Gandhi himself told that eye for an eye makes world blind, and he did a murder and you are also giving him punishment. What type of punishment? Death penalty. Whether the death penalty correct or not, last week came for Supreme Court hearing. A constitutional bench was being constituted. Supreme Court hearing happened on this, and the Supreme Court told that in the rarest of the rare cases, yes, we can provide death sentence. 3 judgments you have to remember. Any question on death penalty, while you are writing newspaper, while you are writing notes, for some judgments, some issues, you have to remember some judgments compulsory. For a death penalty question, because every time it is in the news. In Jagmohan Singh versus State of Uttar Pradesh, 1973, Rajendra Prasad versus State of Uttar Pradesh, 1979, Bachchan Singh versus State of Punjab, 1918. This at least you have to remember. Bachchan Singh case of 1980, the Supreme Court affirmed the constitutional validity of the death. Bachchan Singh case, it reiterated the constitutional validity of death penalty. Yes, we can give the punishment death penalty. Reiterated, re-supported, re-advocated by the Supreme Court 4 days back. So the capital punishment will be there, death penalty will be there in India, as per 3 judgments, and the main judgment is Bachchan Singh versus State of Punjab, 1980. Means I am telling you, see, it was a very big article in Indian Express, very big article, but it comprised only into 1 paragraph. Odisha offering cash incentives for PVT. Odisha is popular for its innovations. Odisha government, they give money for intercaste marriages, they give incentives if they don't go for child marriages. Recently they came up with the same innovation for PVTGs. Bonda tribal community. Bonda tribal community, which is a PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Then what is PVTG? Again a question should come. What is PVTG? Within the tribals, a section of tribals who are more backward. Within the tribals, a section of tribals are more backward when compared to the tribals. So they were being branded as a separate identity by the name called as PVTGs, who live in isolated pockets of forest, whose education is almost zero. They follow culture, they follow primitive stage of agriculture, primitive form of agriculture, pre-agriculture level of technology. They feel shy to contact with the mainstream. Means tribals already are backward. They are more backward than tribals. So these people who are more backward than the tribals within the tribal community, they are being identified as a separate community called as PVTG. So there is one problem in Bonda tribal community, that is their culture is child marriage. Their culture is child marriage. They do child marriage. So Odisha government 5 days back, they came up with a innovation called as Odisha government revises guidelines for caste incentive for marriages. Up to now they gave only for intercaste marriages, but they revised. They are continuing with intercaste marriages as well as those who are not doing child marriages. Mainly, not all, mainly who are doing it because of the cultural reasons. Who are doing because of the cultural reasons? PVTG. Keeping the rampant child marriages among the PVTGs of Odisha in mind, the state government is providing an incentive of 20,000 to the couples marrying after the age of 20,000 for a PVTG is a very big amount. 20,000 for a PVTG is a very good amount. It's a real social incentive. Whereas there are some government schemes are there, like Shadi Mubarak, Kalyan Lakshmi. These are popular schemes in order to get votes. But this scheme is a real social welfare scheme. Why? Because this is against what? Child marriages. This is what? Against child marriages. Next. Means what? It's not a fact. Any question on child labor or any question on child marriages, any question on tribals emancipation, any question on particularly vulnerable tribal groups. This is one example, a Odisha step. A government affirmative action. Not only central government, state governments are also coming up with very good ideas. One of the best idea is incentive. I am not banning. See, something if we ban, what will happen? A parallel mafia will exist. A organized crime will exist if we go for banning something. Parallelly equal amount of crime will continue if we ban something. So we should not ban, we have to incentivize it. We have to make them understand. We have to make them sensitize. So here we are making them sensitize as well as we are also giving them incentive. Then obviously at least for 20,000 they will not go for. India ranks 40 Global Innovation Index of World Intellectual Property Organization. This is very much in news. Everyone are reading it, I know. So what we can take from this? What point we can take from this? For the first time, this ranking is given by INSID, WIPO. This is provided by INSID, World Intellectual Property Organization, as well as Cornell University. Cornell University, INSID and WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organizations. These three organizations together, they will be giving ranking for the countries. They give ranking for the countries and they gave ranking India 40th rank. So India is performing well. But for the first time, not only objective interpretation, not only objective parameter, we have also took subjective interpretation. Means what? Objective interpretation means how many world-class universities are there? How many world-class universities are there? How many PhDs are there? It's a matter. How many PhDs are there? Means people are continuing the research. How many research scholars are there? How much research came into existence? How much innovation came into existence? Numbers. This was the case earlier. Only objective interpretation. But for the first time in 2022, not only objective parameters but subjective parameters were also took into consideration. What are subjective interpretations? The money spent by the government. Subjective, I spend the money. Sometimes output might come, output might not come. Why? Because it's research and development. It takes time. Sometimes it requires wonders also, like how apple fall on the head of Newton. It's a wonder. Then he created gravity. In the same way, for research and development also we need sometimes wonder. We need sometimes a shock. So here subjective interpretation is what? Fund allocation, government support, human resource. We got more parameters not in objective parameters but in subjective parameters. Means government is keeping efforts. Sometimes we are not achieving the targets, but efforts also important. Now, for example, you are studying a lot, you prepared a lot, you went up to interview, but you didn't clear the exam. It doesn't mean that you are fool. It doesn't mean that you are waste. You are having a huge capacity. You cleared prelims, you cleared mains, by little slight marks you missed. So, rank, every time rank will not determine your skill. Every time rank will not determine your knowledge. Your effort is also should be a parameter for your calculation. That is the reason we have what? Sometimes notifications will come. If you go to UPSC interview, a separate notifications will come from ministry. You can directly apply. Directly again you can go to the interview and you can get the rank. I think you are aware of this? No? See, from 2017, Government of India had got a government order, which is a policy, which means 1,000 posts or 800 posts, the government will be giving the notification. You know, 1:2.5 will be going for UPSC interview. For example, 1,000 posts are there, 2,500 will go for interview. In that 1,000 people only will be getting the recruitment. What about another 1,500? So, for another 1,500, what they did, if any notification or any job application or any recruitment is there in the ministries will give separate notification asking to apply those who attended UPSC interview. 30-40 posts will be there. Multiple ministries will give notifications. See the employment newspaper, it will come in only in employment newspaper. The problem is it will come only in employment newspaper. So you have to apply it separately. When you apply it separately, you will get the same cadre. Same Group A officer. Same Group A officer means Government of India understood subjective interpretation happened. So only those who are getting ranks are into the service. Then what about the people who attended interviews? A subjective interpretation. So started asking the departments to give notifications. So that is called as subjective interpretation. So for the first time in the Global Innovation Index, Government of India got 40th rank, not because of objective interpretation or objective parameters, but because of, that is one point. The rest all is same. Cornell University, INSEAD, World Intellectual Property Organization. These three organizations together gave this rank, Global Innovation Index. List of top 5 countries in the Global Innovation Index: Switzerland, United States, Sweden, UK, Netherlands. These are the top 5 countries in this Global Innovation Index. Not required, but top 5. Switzerland, United States, Sweden, United Kingdom and yes. This Global Innovation Index also, another parameter was been there. What is that parameter? Sometimes we can expect a question. Global Innovation Index 2022 took what parameters into consideration? Not only objective, but also subjective. With that, how we are resilient for COVID-19. Means how we sustained COVID-19, impact on the business. How we sustained COVID-19 impact on the business. Whether COVID-19 impacted startups or not. Huge startups collapsed. Huge startups. Some business people committed suicides also. They invested 2019, 2020 March, COVID. They invested lakhs of rupees. They invested time. They invested human resource. 2018, 2019, when they were ready to reap the fruits, COVID came. 2020, 2021, 2022 February. Collapsed. So, the Global Innovation Index also gave ranking to those countries who were resilient in addressing COVID-19 on business. India got 40th rank. India performance is good. So what we have to remember? We have to remember that Global Innovation Index, not only objective parameters, subjective parameters, as well as how resilient the countries are against COVID-19. Then next, simple. R. Venkata Ramana assigned as new Attorney General of India. Who is this Attorney General of India? Attorney General of India is present in the Constitution of India under the Article 76. He is the highest law officer of the country. He is the main advocate for the cases of Government of India. He is the supreme advocate of all the advocates who are for the Government of India. He will be advising the Government of India with respect to all the legal issues. That Advocate General of India is this person, R. Venkata Ramani. Article number 76. Article number 76 talks about Attorney General of India. Most important. Who constitute executive? Prelims point of view. Union executive constitute whom? Or who are union executive? Union executive are president. Union executive is prime minister. Union executive is council of minister plus Attorney General of India. Attorney General of India is not only law officer but is also part of executive. Union executive. So it is the prime minister, it is the council of minister, it is the president plus Attorney General. Next. UP government approves first tiger reserve in Bundelkhand region. Within the Uttar Pradesh, there are several regions are there. Like how we have several regions like Coorg, Kongunadu, Malabar, how within the states there are different regions are there. In the same way, Uttar Pradesh also have Bagelkhand, Bundelkhand, Haritha Pradesh, etc. etc. Bundelkhand, there is existence of tigers, but no tiger reserve. For the first time in Uttar Pradesh, within the Bundelkhand region, now we are having a tiger reserve. That is going to be the 4th tiger reserve of Uttar Pradesh. Current affair. Not all tiger reserve you cannot remember. Not all national parks you cannot remember. Only those national parks, only those tiger reserves you have to remember which are in news. So 4 tiger reserves are there in Uttar Pradesh. Recent one is Ranipur Tiger Reserve. Ranipur Tiger Reserve will be the 4th in Uttar Pradesh. Earlier are Dudhwa, Philibit, Amangarh, a buffer of Corbett Tiger Reserve. Corbett in which state? Uttarakhand. So it's a continuity, it's a contiguous. Corbett Tiger Reserve of Uttarakhand is contiguous into little part of Uttar Pradesh. As little amount is there, we call it as a part of Uttarakhand only. So Ranipur, this one is Ranipur Tiger Reserve. Ranipur Tiger Reserve, earlier Dudhwa, Philibit and Amangarh. So 4 tiger reserves are there in Uttar Pradesh. In Bundelkhand, first one. In Bundelkhand, first one. What is the name of it? There is a project tiger to protect the tigers. The tigers' number has been increased. For example, 1411 was there in 2006. But 2018, 2967, double the number of tigers is a great success. Why we are discussing about it? We are discussing about it because cheetahs came into India. Cheetahs came into India. So cheetahs, tigers or rhinoceros. Protection of rhinoceros. Why? Because cheetahs came. Several other same protected species we have to remember. Very important. I believe this is important this time for 2023 prelims. Why, sir? UNESCO list of 50 iconic Indian textiles. Indian textiles. For example, Assam Rumali is very famous, world famous. Assam Rumali, it's world famous. How the sarees of Gadwal, the Rumalis of Assam are very, very popular. Kanchipuram. So those are textiles with specific significance, with specific uniformity. What are those? You remember this. Toda embroidery and Sugadi from Tamil Nadu. Statement wise we can expect which of the following are present in the list of UNESCO's list of 50 iconic Indian textiles. See, Indian textiles are present in UNESCO. Then compulsory we have to remember it is released 1 week back. This list is released 1 week back. So 100% current affairs. From the following which are not present or from the following which are present in UNESCO's list of Indian textiles. Toda embroidery and Sugadi from Tamil Nadu. Himoro from Hyderabad. Banda tie and dye from Sambalpur, keys from Panipat, Chamba rumals from Himachal Pradesh, Tigma or wool tie and dye from Ladakh, Awadh Jamdani from Varanasi, Ilkal and Lambadi or Banjara embroidery from Karnataka, Sikkal Nayanket Kalamkari from Tamil Nadu, Kunbi weaves from Goa, Masru weaves and Patola from Gujarat, Himoro from Maharashtra, and Kharad Koirai from West Bengal. Some. So what factuals you have to remember, what factuals you should not remember is also very important. World Heritage Sites you have to remember. Recently, which World Heritage Site came into existence in Telangana state? Ramappa. Significance of Ramappa we have to come across. This is the Indian list of textiles which are been designated by UNESCO. Next, symbol. MOU signed between International Solar Alliance and Indian Civil Aviation Group / organization. MOU was been signed between two. What are the two? One is International Solar Alliance, other is International Civil Aviation Group. What is this? International Solar Alliance is the brainchild of Narendra Modi. The headquarters of International Solar Alliance is present where? Gurugram. It is present in Gurugram. What is this? The countries which are located on the tropical region, from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, all the countries which are located in between, they have to use the solar energy, by which the use of fossil fuel should come down. That is the motto of International Solar Alliance. This International Solar Alliance had come into contact with Indian Civil Aviation Organization, and both came to a MOU that civil aviation sector is one sector which is releasing carbon emissions. Civil aviation sector is releasing carbon emission. So International Solar Alliance and International Civil Aviation Organization had made an agreement with our Ministry of Civil Aviation, SCINDA, that SCINDA carbon emissions will be reduced from our Indian Civil Aviation sector. SCINDA. International Civil Aviation Group, Memorandum of Understanding with International Solar Alliance, September 26, 2022. Mainly what? We are also promising to International Civil Aviation Group that our civil aviation like Indigo or SpiceJet, Kingfisher is there? Kingfisher is not there now. So we also will be releasing less carbon emissions. We are not telling that we will make it zero, but we will be releasing less carbon emissions so that the carbon emission in the atmosphere will come down. So recently an agreement happened between what? Between International Solar Alliance and International Civil Aviation Group or International Civil Aviation Organization. International is an alliance of 121 countries and 32 partner organizations for efficient consumption of solar energy to decrease fossil fuel dependency so that the carbon emissions will come down, to devise cost-effective and transformation solutions for using renewable energy in member country. So which renewable energy? Solar renewable energy. Coming to India, some promises. Remember this. I thought you have to remember some promises. This is not current affair, but you have to remember background. Till 2070, India has pledged. By 2070, India has pledged in Conference of Parties 26 that net zero carbon goal. Means our carbon emissions will become zero. Means 100% fossil fuel free. Means 100% fossil fuel free. Means everything, all the vehicles will be renewable. All the fossil fuels will come down and only renewable fuels we will be using. Then only we can reach this net zero carbon emissions. By 2070, we pledged that we are going to become net zero carbon. Its efforts continue to be human-centric based on respect and national ownership. India has decided a target of installing 175 gigawatts of renewable energy, of which 100 gigawatts will be solar energy. But good, it's a very good target, but we are trying. The date we are crossed, but we are trying. and decrease in emission intensity by 33 to 35% by 2030 to let solar energy reach the most unconnected villages and cities. So under International Solar Alliance, we ourselves planned that there will be net zero carbon emissions by 2070, and 33 to 35% of carbon emissions will come down by 2030. This is Indian Civil Aviation, International Civil Aviation Group or International Civil Aviation Organization. The main motto of this, only one point, the main motto of this, to make efforts such that the carbon emissions from civil aviation sector should decrease. That is the main motto. Kerala's Pulampara or Pulampara is a first fully digital literate panchayat in India. Pulampara, a first fully digital literate village in India. All are digital literate. Everyone will not search for keys on the keyboard. Where is space bar? Where is enter? Or only enter, tuck, 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 enter. Fully digital. Everyone have knowledge on computers. Everyone have knowledge on social media. Every house is digitalized. Pulampara. The DGT Pulampara project was impressive for the public to get government service as well as connect. Full digital literacy was gained by Pulampara Panchayat, under which some 3,300 residents between the age group of 14 to 65 we provided with digital education. Now you will write any question on digital India, any question on local self-government, any question on local empowerment, any question on decentralization. The best case study is Pulampara. It's not only a prelims question. Fully digital village in India is not that question. This is a case study for any question on decentralized governance or digital villages or digital governance. These people will get all the services now. Why? Because they are digitalized. They can get all the services from the government. Why? Because they know how to apply. Jaludut app and Jaludut app electronic brochure. What is this? Jaludut app. Ministry of Panchayat and Rural Development. Two ministries are very important. For every government schemes, you will be having exclusive government schemes by the time you reach the prelims, not now. All the government schemes, all international organization, all indices and reports. For every government scheme, we should know which ministry is releasing it. Jaludut app is designed by Ministry of Panchayat and Ministry of Rural Development. In simple language. Underground water. Mainly wells, mainly focusing on wells. Yearly 2 times. Pre-monsoons, post-monsoons. They will check. Agriculture officer will come and he will check. What is the level of water underground? Post-monsoons. What is the level of water underground in the wells? He will report. Again next year. Pre-monsoons, post-monsoons. Pre-monsoons, post-monsoons. This everything will go to a central repository. The data will be linked to a central repository. What is that repository name? Jaludut app. So I will open the Jaludut app, state name, district name, village name. Then I will get the information where I will get the water underground. Where I will get the water ground. Groundwater levels I can know. So if I am going for a boring, I can have my own estimation for the money budget. Why? Because sometimes in villages, for 120 feet we will get water. Reality. 120 feet we will get water. Sometimes 360 feet also we will not get water. For every 120 feet they will charge 50,000 rupees. Another 120 feet, no water, but I have to pay him, to the boring company. How much I have to pay? Another 50,000 plus 50,000. No water. Already I invested 1 lakh, then what I will think? Let me sell another gold. We will do another 120 feet, 360 feet. How much is the investment? 1,50,000. Why? I don't know where the water is present. I don't know where the water is present. If I know where the water is present, then there is a chance that I can have a predictability. Okay, anyhow, geology will be there, sometimes rocks will come, for that separate test will be there, but general understanding is in this village I can get water up to this level. Who will give the information? No one will give, just I have to open the self-centered app. So I myself can understand in which state, in which district, in which village, at what level I can get the water. Why? Because the common thing is the big problem, the real problem in any village of Maharashtra or Telangana or Andhra Pradesh or Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh or Gujarat, the people are going for borings. When they go for boring is high cost. For 120 feet, they charge somewhere around 70,000. But the water will not get till 480 feet. 480 into 70,000, how much? 4 times, 120 one time. So 480 4 times. 70,000 into 4 times, how much it is? 2,80,000 I have to invest. Why? Because I don't know where the water is there. If I do risk one more 120 feet, 600 feet, no water, how much I lost? 3,50,000. From where he will bring? Money lenders. Immediately. Why? Because the machine is there. The machine people will tell that if you bring, I will go deeper. If not, you tell me, I will go. If he go, again I have to pay him extra service charge. At that moment I want the money. Then who? Bank will not give. It's a procedure. Then who will give? Money lender will give. At what price? At what interest? Exorbitant interest rates. Debt crisis. Debt trap. Suicide. So water is also playing a major role. So this is a very good idea, which is called as Jaludut. Was jointly developed by Union Ministry of. This app can be used by Gram Rojgar Sahayak, Village Revenue Assistant, VRA, to measure the water level in well twice a year, before and after monsoons. Systematic collection of data on groundwater levels, storing them in central digital database. What is the central digital database? Jaludut. Just I will upload there. The data can be used for the implementation of Gram Panchayat development plan, Mahatma Gandhi Narega also. Under Narega, if I am going for construction of the wells, I know how much I have to invest from the government. Why? Because I have to pay them, no daily wages. Using this app, water levels of 2 to 3 wells in a village will be captured. The water levels in open wells will be measured twice a year, pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. So yearly report we will be having. Whether water levels are increasing or where water levels are coming down. If water levels are coming down means what? Desertification. If water levels are coming down means what? Desertification. Very huge problem. Big problem. The land is becoming dry. The moisture is becoming dry. Then eventually it impacts what? Agriculture sector. So we have to take immediate steps like what? Afforestation. George Meloni, the first female Prime Minister of Italy, that much only. First female Prime Minister of Italy. Right-wing political party came into existence. After a long time, right-wing political party came into existence. Right-wing political parties are very dangerous. Mussolini of Italy, right-wing. Hitler of Germany, right-wing. The people who commit suicides, genocides, the people who commits homicides, the people who commits atrocities, which is happening right now in Myanmar. Those are what type of governments? Right-wing governments. So now the right-wing government came in Italy. So there are some apprehensions. There are some apprehension that they might put restrictions on Muslims. They might put restrictions on another religion. Why? Because they are conservatives. Right-wings are conservatives. They are not liberals. People's Front of India, banned for 5 years. Very popular organization. I used to visit Kerala. I used to go to an academy. I used to visit lot of times. Every time I go, one meeting or other meeting would happen on the roads. Means it's very popular. That means a very popular organization only. No? That popular organization is banned means a very big issue now. Every day, very big news in Kerala right now. The Union Ministry of Home Affairs banned Popular Front of India. It is Muslim. According to Ministry of Home Affairs, it is a Muslim radical organization which is brain feeding the young boys of Muslims According to Ministry of Home Affairs, it is recruiting young Muslim boys into terrorist organizations. According to Ministry of Home Affairs, they already send some Muslim boys into ISIS. These all are acquisitions of Ministry of Home Affairs. Associations under which act? Unlawful Activities Prevention Act of 1967. Who gave power to the Ministry of Home Affairs to ban an organization? Unlawful Activities Prevention Act of 1967 gave the power to the Ministry of Home Affairs. The ban was imposed based on the recommendations from the state governments of Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka and Gujarat. In these three states, which government is there? Okay. Now, the Popular Front of India had already, now the PFI joined already banned organizations like Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Al-Qaeda, Simi and other extremist groups in the banned list. Now this is also banned list, but also not only banned list but also a terrorist organization. 8 organizations that are operating as affiliates to the PFI has also been banned. Popular Front of India. But one section of people tell that it is complete violation of Article 19. What is Article 19? Right to form associations. Right to form association. We formed an association for the minorities of the country. We are the voice of the minorities of the country. You are trying to stop the voice of the minorities. So one section of the people will tell that it is blatant violation of fundamental rights. One section of the people will tell that no, it is a security issue, security is paramount. On the ground of security, we banned this PFI. So now the case in Supreme Court, but however, it's under the ambit of executive only. Executive ambit only. Under executive ambit, there is a rule of law. The rule of law is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So they are doing activities against UAPA. So they were been banned. Asian Palm Oil Alliance. This person is the first chairman of Asian Palm Oil Alliance, formed by 5 South Asian countries. Edible oil trade associations from 5 palm oil importing, not exporting. Importing means we are buying. Who? India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal. Asian Palm Oil Alliance. Why? Why such organization needed? We doesn't have oil. Edible oil, Indian subcontinent, resource crunch with respect to edible oil. We import not only crude oil, not only oil, but also edible oil. All oils we have to import. Oil doesn't like India, so in India there is no oil, including edible oil, groundnut oil, sunflower oil, palm oil, all oils are. So we are importing. From where? Indonesia. From where? Malaysia, Southeast Asia. So the prices are so much volatile. The prices are so much volatile and we depended on Southeast Asia. So these 5 countries came together and they want to give conditions to the Southeast Asian countries that the prices should not be volatile. How oil prices is controlled by OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. There should be an association for the edible oil exporting countries and you should fix a parameter. On the parameters you have to increase or decrease, not according to the wish of the producers. So that what will happen? The countries which are dependent on edible oil can be saved. If not, the prices will skyrocket. So the main intention of the organization is this: Asian Palm Oil Alliance. He is the first chairperson, Atul Chaturvedi. Atul Chaturvedi is the first chairperson of Asian Palm Oil. Why I took this topic? Palm oil, edible oil, favorite question for UPSC. Repeatedly they will ask on edible oil. Why? Because edible oil we don't have. Edible oil we don't have. Edible oil related what we don't have, compulsory a UPSC civil service aspirant should know about it. So edible oil is the topic. One more extra topic I will add to this. What happened? In Andaman Nicobar Islands, nearly 50,000 square kilometer of tropical forest was been taken by the government of India on lease and they started huge production of oil palm. The complete forest was been removed, tropical forest was been removed in Andaman Nicobar Islands. In that forest area, we are coming up with oil palm production on mass scale. It's a good thing. Why? Because we don't have edible oil. Then what about the forests? What about the deforestation which happened? Jarwa tribal community was been living in that particular area. They were being displaced. What about their livelihood? This is a question mark. Environmental concerns were being not taken into consideration. Tribal concerns were being not taken into consideration. Positive thing is now 50,000 square kilometer of area is under production of palm oil. So one day we might become net exporter also. But what about environment? What about tribal livelihood? But the step economically good, the step humanity oriented, bad. So these are all the current affair issues from 25th September to 30th September. Any doubts you can ask? See, time is everything. You should be very, very cautious about your time. Reading newspaper, putting of time, content. We have to be very precise, we have to be very clear. Taj Trapezium Zone, what are the three? Agra Fort, Taj Mahal, Fatehpur Sikri. Death penalty is legal. Bachchan Singh case. Odisha, PVTGs. Who are PVTGs? What are the tribe name? Bonda tribe. India ranks 40. Not only objective but also subjective as well as resilient to COVID-19. Business, not health. Venkatramani as the Attorney General of India. Now, first tiger reserve in Bundelkhand and the fourth tiger reserve in Uttar Pradesh. Ranipur, Dudhwa, Filbit and Amangarh. UNESCO list, 50 list. International Solar Alliance, International Civil Aviation. Kerala's Pulampara, first digital village in India. Jaldoot app. Jaldoot app of Ministry of Panchayat and Ministry of Rural Development. Giorgia Meloni, Italy Prime Minister. Then PFI banned for 5 years. Then we have Asian Palm Oil Alliance. Asian Palm Oil Alliance. Objective is to control the price rise of oil palm from exporting countries. What are the countries part of it? India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan and Nepal. The bordering countries of India with India. Innovation Index. How Scandinavian countries occupy top place in every sphere as their GDP only because of redistribution of resources without corruption. See, if I have 100 rupees, 10 people are there. If I am distributing 10 rupees, everyone is happy. But Sub-Saharan Africa, Indian subcontinent, I have 100 rupees. But which is reaching the people is 5 rupees. 10 people, 5 rupees. 50 rupees is finished. In between. Corruption. Redistribution. No proper redistribution. No proper plan. And population. Big thing is population. When population is more, if I want to give also, I cannot give. Why? Because population is more. In Scandinavian countries, the population is less. Write one question and post in the group. What is UAPA Act 1967? What is UAPA Act 1967? Question mark. What are the provisions of UPA? What are the provisions of UPA? Comma. Pros and cons of UPA. Pros and cons of UPA. Question mark. 15 marks, 200 words, 3 pages. This is a very important act. This is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Another is there, Prevention of Terrorist Act 2002, POTA. Another was there, TADA, Terrorist Activities Disruptive Act. This both got repealed. POTA and TADA got repealed. Only UAPA is present.